Now to net neutrality, which has a lot of us here scratching our heads. Basically, the FCC can now regulate how internet service providers are managing their networks. But what does that really mean to any of us? CNET's Molly Wood joins us now from San Francisco. Molly, help us out. We have three guys here that don't know the first thing about net neutrality. What's this about?
I'll do what I can. Well, the basic premise of net neutrality, just at its heart, is the idea that all of the information, all the traffic on the web travels to the same place at the same speed, no matter what kind of traffic it is. It's like water through a hose. What happened is that various ISPs got interested in maybe charging more for certain kinds of traffic or slowing down other kinds of traffic that they felt were kind of overloading the hose. And the FCC said, you know what, I think we need to do what we can to make sure that no kinds of information are discriminated against, because maybe your internet service provider also offers phone services and they don't want you to use Skype, that kind of thing. So they're trying to make sure that all that information keeps flowing through the hose in as neutral a way as possible.
So as a consumer, is this good news for me? How will it change my interactions with the web on a day-to-day basis, or will it change anything?
Well, it's good news in the sense that, you know, if you sign up for an ISP that also offers cable TV service, video on demand, that ISP cannot slow down your Netflix streaming, right? They can't say you have to charge more to receive YouTube or you're not going to get YouTube at all. So it's good news in the sense that you will keep receiving all of the content on the web that you've been receiving all along. What the FCC did do, though, is they said, you know what, we're okay if ISPs want to experiment with new kinds of business plans. So if they want to offer a new tier of pricing to the consumer that says, you know, maybe you pay your $70 a month for internet access, but you only get 200 gigabytes of data available to you. So you get metered internet, or you pay per, you know, you pay basically according to what you use. That's actually a new model on the web, and from ISPs that have kind of put those caps into place so far, they don't seem to have the same idea of internet usage that we have. So just at a time when everybody wants to stream Netflix video, some ISPs are saying, well, you can only have 250 gigs a month, which sounds like a lot, but if you have an Xbox and you're playing games online, or you listen to Pandora internet streaming radio all the time, or you do a lot of Netflix streaming, you might find that you're all of a sudden paying a whole lot more for your internet access than you ever were before.
What would you say to critics that say, well, this is just more government regulation, this is interfering with the free marketplace, how come we shouldn't just have these internet service providers compete for the best dollar deal?
Right. I mean, at some point that becomes a philosophical argument, but the biggest problem, and the biggest reason I think that proponents of net neutrality feel like the government does have to get involved is because there simply isn't enough competition in the world of broadband providers. Some people really, literally can only choose Comcast, or they can only choose Time Warner. And so if Comcast says, we're not offering Netflix, you don't have an option. And the fact is, you have a huge conflict of interest with some of these companies. They are, you know, ever in search of a new revenue model, because that's just kind of how we have to roll in our society. They are getting into content delivery. They're getting into telephone service delivery. They're getting into delivering TV over the internet. So they're in all of the same arenas. They're playing the exact same game that their competitors are playing, but they're also providing the pipes that would deliver Netflix, that would deliver YouTube. So it's really, I think at this point, an ounce of prevention. It's saying, look, we just want to make sure that things don't get out of hand, because really they easily could, and you could argue that it would be good business sense for Comcast to say, I don't want Skype, I don't want Netflix.
So just to summarize here, I think you hit the last point very well. This is more about preventing a problem than it is about fixing an existing problem for consumers?
Absolutely. It's about saying, look, there's every possibility of problems developing, and we want to stop that before it happens. And I think that's an absolutely fair thing to say.
All right, Molly Wood from CNET, thanks very much for untangling that for us. Now we know a little bit more about net neutrality. Okay, thanks a lot.